They smile in public. They laugh in photos. They kiss their husbands on Instagram. But behind closed doors, countless women in America are silently suffering. They lie in bed, not with desire, but with dread. What should be the most intimate, pleasurable connection between two people has become, for many, a source of pain, guilt, frustration, or even trauma. The question is simple, yet alarming. Why don't so many women enjoy sex anymore? This isn't a baseless claim. It's backed by research, therapy room confessions, and hospital reports. And it's not just about mismatched libidos or lack of romance. The issue is deeper, rooted in psychology, culture, medicine, and the silent war between expectation and reality. Let's begin with the biology. The female body is complex. Arousal is not a switch you flip, it's a system. It involves hormones, mental stimulation, emotional security, physical comfort, and trust. Yet many men have been conditioned by media and porn to treat sex like a performance, a conquest, or a routine act. They enter the bedroom with a script, but they've never read their partner's story. They know how to penetrate, but not how to connect. And this disconnect is where the first fracture begins. Many women report that their partners rush intimacy, skipping emotional and physical foreplay entirely. For a man, arousal may be visual and instant, but for most women, arousal is contextual. It begins outside the bedroom, with how she's treated during the day, she feels emotionally, and with whether her needs, sexual and non-sexual, are acknowledged. But there's more. Stress is a silent killer of libido. In the modern American lifestyle, women are juggling full-time jobs, raising children, managing homes, and trying to maintain a version of themselves that's constantly criticized by society. They're tired, not just physically, but emotionally. Their brains are overloaded, and when the mind is overwhelmed, the body follows. The last thing many women want at the end of an exhausting day is another demand placed on their body. Yet, in many relationships, sex is expected, even when she's not mentally or physically present. She says yes, not because she wants to, but because she feels obligated, and every time she does that, she disconnects a little more from her own pleasure. Some women, tragically, endure discomfort or even pain during intercourse but never speak up. Conditions like vaginismus, endometriosis, pelvic inflammatory disease, yeast infections, or even hormonal imbalances during perimenopause or after childbirth can make sex feel unbearable. And still, they remain silent, fearing judgment, rejection, or being labeled as broken. And this silence, it's loud. The unspoken pain builds resentment. The lack of communication deepens emotional distance. What was supposed to bond two people ends up tearing them apart slowly. But perhaps the most overlooked reason for women's dissatisfaction lies in emotional disconnection. True intimacy requires vulnerability. Many women don't feel emotionally seen. They're touched but not held, desired but not valued. Their emotional needs are unmet, but their physical consent is assumed. It's easy to touch a body. It's harder to hold a soul. And without emotional intimacy, physical intimacy often becomes empty. Now add in the impact of unrealistic expectations. Thanks to pornography and Hollywood, many men are misled about what female pleasure looks like. They think it's loud, immediate, and effortless. They chase orgasms like trophies, not understanding that true female pleasure is not always visible and not always instant. It takes trust, patience, empathy, and communication. And what about women who have experienced past trauma? Many American women have histories of sexual abuse, coercion, or emotional manipulation. These wounds don't vanish with time. They live in the body. So even consensual sex with a loving partner can unconsciously trigger those past memories. Without proper trauma-informed care, these women will struggle to feel safe, even in safe relationships. And then comes the guilt. Society often teaches women to be desirable, but not desiring, to please their man, but not express their own wants, to submit, but not demand. So when a woman doesn't enjoy sex, she blames herself. She thinks something is wrong with her body, her mind, or her spirit. And instead of asking for help, she hides, she performs, she pretends. But here's the truth. It's not always her fault. Pleasure is not a duty. Sex is not a debt. And if a woman doesn't enjoy intimacy, the solution isn't to silence her. It's to listen, to ask deeper questions, to explore without ego, to create a space where her voice matters as much as her body.
So what can be done? Doctors need to take women's complaints seriously, not dismiss them as normal. Partners need to stop assuming and start asking. Therapists need to normalize conversations about female desire and trauma. And women need to know that their pleasure matters, not as a gift to their partner, but as a right to themselves. Because in the end, the goal is not just sex, it's connection, it's safety, it's mutual joy. And until we value women's voices as much as their silence, until we prioritize understanding over performance, until we replace pressure with patience, we will continue to raise generations of women who have bodies touched but souls untouched. This is not just about sex, this is about humanity, about healing, and about finally giving women the dignity to feel, speak, and be free in and out of the bedroom,